Virgo, welcome back for your November reading. If you're wanting to make a booking, you can go to the link directly below. The shop is also open should you wish to have a look or purchase anything. I have updated the shipping as I had noticed that for some zones it was a little bit different, so I've weight ratioed everything and priced it. Now, last month a lot of what was coming through was home. Now, anything directly connected to home, and for some reason upon meditation I have noticed that that energy will seep over into November. Now, for those of you who have anything home related, it could be a person moving in, a person moving out. It might even be something to the degree of looking at what home is going to be for you. Now, this year's been one of those years where we've had a lot of work we've been doing at an emotional level, at a physical level. That's a bit glary. That's better. So, we've had anything connected to home come up, our egos, what sort of work we want, how we want to live our life. Friendships have been in highlight as well. And throughout the year, what we've had was, it was very different to last year. Last year, we didn't have as much forward motion. We had a lot of heavy energy and very much feeling like we weren't being able to do the things we were needing to do or planning to do. This year, we've had the plans, we've had the forward motion, but we've also had the heavy energy of healing at the same time. For you, you have reserved your energy back. You have healed, but in different ways. Your healing has been from the perspective of learning through other people, but also through processing information directly connected to the past. So it hasn't, your energy's been a very different energy. It hasn't been that you haven't been proactive, but you've been healing relationships around you, your relationship with yourself, and doing a lot of processing work internally. You do have big plans, but you have realised that a lot of those plans may not be relevant to you any longer. And this is something that would have been relevant for you for the entire year. Now, the energy coming through in November is an energy that is quite a heavy, aggressive energy. Now, the reason I feel this energy is coming through, and it will be for the next 2 to 3 months, the reason is if you've done the work during the year on the given scenarios that have been coming up in your life on a healing level, or moving towards a road that you feel is correct for you, then you're on the right track. If you're not, the energy for you personally is going to be a lot heavier. And that's because we're preparing for the new. This year has been more a sense of a tower event. So it's been rebuilding your life to a point where it feels more vibrationally connected to you as a whole. Where anything you've been holding on to that you really had outgrown, you were challenged to address those areas and push them to the side or move away from them. Now, if you haven't, these will come up November, December and January. Now, however you deal with that energy is what your given outcome is going to be. The more you do the work, the better it's going to be for you physically, for the foundation of your new future in January. Now, intent needs to be set in January as to your direction and what you're wanting to do. So a lot of processing is going to go on between now and January. Although we obviously have Christmas and New Year and social events coming up, nevertheless, we're going to have this energy that is quite energetic connected to those 2 months. In January, it might feel like a hangover if the energy has been extremely heavy for you. Not physically, it is a hangover, but the hangover of the scenarios may still linger in January if we all have not done the things that we need to do to align ourselves correctly for our new beginnings in January. something is quite relevant for you in March. Now, this might be, and that's the following year, 2018, and you're the only sign that this has come through so far, but some sense of a plan or forward motion connected to something is in motion, but may not get off the ground till next year. But that's not a bad thing. It's the correct timing for it, as per se. Now, for some of the zodiac signs, I have felt a heavy energy, and I have been drawn to pull cards in the general reading section. And the reason I've kept it quite light is because a lot of the messages are coming through intuitively, and I'm not requiring the additional input connected to it on a visual level. But for some of them, I have been drawn to draw cards connected to this, and yours is one of them. Your energy is very educated in a sense that you feel that you have done a lot of growing. And it's not to say you're on the wrong or right path. It's just where you're at, you're ready for change. You also know change is coming. And although you visually might not see it, you physically sense it coming. And this is going to be directly connected to every area of your life. You do feel very humble and very glad that the things that you have in your life are yours. But it's not that it's about that. It's about the fact that you've changed. And due to that change, not so much there'll be consequences. It doesn't feel consequences. The scenarios around you will then vibrationally change. And that can be for good or bad. So however this directly connects to you personally. You have some plans and you have some things that you put on the back burner, and you're wanting to address those. You don't feel that now is the correct time, but you're seeing the bigger picture. I actually see you this month being quite psychic, quite in tune, connected to what the bigger picture is. Now, as I was saying, this month's energy is very assertive in terms of communication. However you naturally communicate with people around you, work colleagues, family, loved ones, the energy that you're going to hold is going to be completely different. So it's like it's doing a swap of communication technique for you personally. The funny thing is, although I found that the energy was going to be a very aggressive, assertive energy, upon meditating on each zodiac sign, I found some were not adhering to that and actually reserving the need to communicate certain things, to communicate your truth, to communicate what you feel is correct for you or connected to a situation. And for you, I feel this can go two ways, and you're the only zodiac sign this has come through for. I feel you'll hold both energies this month. You will be both very assertive, and it could be an aggressive energy coming through if you standing your ground, and it will be very neutral of, well, I have expressed how I feel, now show me. So tell me how this directly relates. Now, in your family zone, okay, you have this card in reverse. So you're actually doing some work connected to family this month. And where maybe you had reserved your energy back, you're actually now moving forward and directly dealing with the energies connected to family. So it's like you had been an observer or a fly on the wall, and now you're looking and you're seeing that some situations aren't changing, and you're holding your ground and you're verbalizing your opinions connected to things and taking action. You're not wanting to go with the flow any longer because you know some things don't relevantly sit correctly, so you're going to directly deal with these energies. But some of the signs you're not paying attention to. So you don't want to look at the signs, or maybe you have seen the signs and there's no reason for you to look at them because you've received enough information and you're having to deal with it head on and directly. It's actually taking your focus away from other areas that you need to focus on by this energy not being grounded and stable. So you are going to be very assertive, but it's like you're bringing the power back to the correct balance so that things can flow through. Okay, with money, connected to your hopes and dreams, this can go two ways as well. In some ways, you have plans and you're waiting whether to do it or whether to pull back. In other ways, it can be connected to your vibration and feeling, connected to money, and whether you feel you are or aren't a burden connected to a situation. So how you directly deal with this energy, and what it might not be that you need to leave a situation, it might be that you need to put plans of action into place to bring the balance back. That might be an aspect where you may have been avoiding it. And if this is coming up in a sense of a challenge, it will be something that is relevant to you. Otherwise, it's going to relate directly into your life, how it fits. But it feels connected to a job, of what you are deciding to do, and finances of should you spend it or shouldn't you? Should you stay within a work environment or shouldn't you? You know, are you putting enough into the situation in a romantic level, financially speaking, or aren't you? Where can you doctor the budget to a point where it's working correctly and balanced? Okay, when you're ready for that financial abundance, it will flow. But you need to address aspects connected to blocks connected to this. So I'm going to pull a chakra card for advice. Because it's like you have all these plans and these balls in the air, but there is one area that is directly blocking. Oh, it's actually two areas I'm sensing at the moment. One at a vibrational level and one at a physical level. So it can be an aspect connected to family is triggering certain changes in you. And you know this needs to come into balance, and an aspect of fear-based scenarios connected to cash and a vibration of being worthy of cash is directly being triggered. So look at those and work out how these fit and start working directly on them, and the balance will come back. You can have it all, you just need to work out how to keep the balance connected to these two scenarios, because these are the ones that are out of balance in the month of November. But I do feel they have been for a while. I don't feel it's directly connected to November. I feel more it is connected to you becoming more aware of the situation in November where you feel it needs to be addressed. Connected to money and your intuition of, you know, be it a relationship or the balance of the money, staying or leaving a job, as I said before, you need to pay attention to your dreams. And it's also about a dream you held and why you quit on the dream and why this is coming up for you yet again. You're getting signs and synchronicities connected to this if it's vibrationally connected to the message you're supposed to receive. It might be that you're watching other people around you do things with money or connected to money and growth and creativity, and you're feeling, why am I not doing that? It's a block connected to you personally. It's not connected to a reality-based scenario of you can't have. A lot of times we can actually co-create these scenarios, but until we've healed aspects of the past connected to perhaps workplaces where they didn't treat you appropriately and your growth was hindered, it continues on in the sense of a cycle of a vibration, and that flow of abundance is then triggered into a block where it won't flow through. And it's more a trigger point to directly address the vibration of what you felt so that that can be moved and you can move forward to your next hope or dream or road, so to speak. Intuitively, you know this is happening. So even it was a gut feeling before, now it feels more, your mind is very much processing this factor. You need to trust that it can be mind over matter to a degree in a scenario, and that the clarity is going to come connected to this. Now, in your general life, a lot is up in the air at the moment, and it depends on if you do the work in those two areas, how this is going to play out for you. It doesn't have to be up in the air. It can be to a degree where you're feeling that you have no control over a situation, but if you directly look at the blocks, you're going to find you have more power in the situation than you think. It doesn't have to be that the forward motion has to happen right now, but the healing, if it's done, financially speaking, and forward motion for you physically to live in a world where you feel completely fulfilled is going to bode better for the new year. There is medicine in this scenario, so these blocks are your healing bags. Deal with those two areas directly in November. Try not to sweep them under the carpet, and you're going to find you're going to be a lot freer within the new year. You have been tight-lipped, connected to family-related issues. You do verbalise them, but it may also be for some of you that these connections to family stem as a trigger connected to your childhood. You need to see what the triggers are, why certain things are coming up, and how to directly address them and remove them. So put them in the correct box of what they are and acknowledge them and move forward. How you feel is naturally comfortable for you. Couples. Now, I'm feeling your partner knows you very well. I'm feeling they know what you're capable of and what you're avoiding. They do also wait for you to be vibrationally ready for a road you're choosing to walk down but haven't as yet. Now, this is more on a support level. This doesn't completely feel relationship related, although it is a bond and a commitment you have to each other in a sense of a support. So they're waiting on you, yet you're both doing things equally the same. So you're getting the same scenario time and time again. The challenge is for you to see the power you have in a situation and what road you want to take. I'm feeling as though they vibrationally know how they feel about you, and this doesn't have to be directly connected to romance. It could be connected to you owning your power to walk a road within your family, speak your truth in your family, or directly connected to their family, and or money or career. This feels more them looking at you in a supporting sense and realizing that they can't make you do something you don't want to do. Although they could talk you through the process, they don't want to do that because they feel you are old enough and wise enough to make your own decisions. I can't see that it's going to trigger an argument, although you're holding your mouth quite closed connected to this. You are going to be triggered though. And if this is the way that you have naturally been doing things, what you're going to find is a trigger will come up where you need to speak your truth connected to things that have been blocking you. And until this communication can start coming through, you're going to find it's going to be a bit frustrating for you because you are really being forced by the universe to directly deal with these energies that are coming through for you personally. Okay. I'm just tuning into the cards. Something you've been directly working on together feels as though it's not going as well. Now, this could be I don't feel it's directly connected to your relationship. I feel it is more connected to a bigger picture. You've both had turns connected to how you have been working towards a goal, and now you're getting very real with the situation. You're knowing that what is going on, and this is your partner's energy, she knows that the way things are flowing will not last forever. Something has to change. So it's almost like you have a very large plan that you hold together, and you physically know that something's got to change. Now, it is almost like coming to an altar and there is a door before you, and knowing that you physically have to walk through that door, completely really not knowing what's behind it, whether there is a pathway or a deep hollow. Your partner is feeling as though, unless they can get clarity from you, they feel they are living an imaginary life, because plans need to happen in order for them to have that sense of forward motion. They're very driven, and they also know you hold that vibration, but due to a block, you're not stepping to the point and dealing with the energy directly. For you, you know there has to be a change of plans in order to have your lives together to move forward. And through this, it's helping you understand the beauty within the situation and the absolute potential. But until you can address that area, it feels like there's a sense of stagnation connected to it. But it is at a vibration level. That is the trigger point. And if you can directly deal with that energy, both of you will be able to move forward onto that path. It could be that your partner is feeling that they're doing too much, that it might be that they feel they're communicating to you a little bit too much connected to what should happen. And I still feel the energy moving forward, but they're getting cross connected to the workload on their shoulders. I don't feel it's directly connected to what you are or aren't doing. I feel this is more to do with the fact of their frustration connected to not knowing how the bigger picture is going to look. So it can come through in an agitated sense from your partner of what they think you should be doing. Now, this is going to make you feel agitated, and it might be that you hear that your partner has vented to somebody else, and this causes a dynamic connected to how you guys are communicating. But just remember, if you deal directly with the blocks and have the open communication, these cards can be changed. So these are, in a sense, suggestions and warnings connected to how you can change this vibration. Try to be open, connected to how you communicate with each other, because this is what is going to cement your relationship and help you move to the next level. There is hope within this situation, within your relationship. But until you can deal with those areas and start having the open communication and working on those areas, there is no forward motion. So, again, try not to take it personally, because look at it as a sense of creating that new foundation and that open communication so you can have that forward motion. Your partner is ready for this. They're ready for this change. They vibrationally feel that everything that's happened in a sense of a trigger, an emotion, the growth between you and the relationship has brought you so much closer. There is that one extra step to take you to the next level, and they know and believe in you that you can do it, but they're very much ready for it. And that's where the frustration's coming from. Okay, you need to meditate on this in order to get the closure or the healing that you need to get in order to move forward to this next stage. There is love between you though, and it is to a point where any heavy energy is going to be replaced with beautiful emotional energy. But your partner, you know, is very much feeling doubt, and that's where this energy is coming from, connected to your relationship. And they do feel they know you very well, but maybe you can actually surprise them and show them that they actually don't, that you are ready to deal with these energies and you will jump into the deep end when need be. Intuitively speaking, you do know this, so it's nothing you don't know. And you are very in love with them, and you are very responsible and very gentle, but they want you now to step into your power and directly deal with these energies, because they are ready for this relationship to go to the next level and deal with those plans directly of what their big hopes and dreams are. But they want to share those hopes and dreams with you because they feel you are the one they want to do that with. But it's whether you decide that that is correct for you with the challenge of dealing with the energy. I'll pull 3 cards and we'll get on to the singles. Okay. Anything that is binding you in a sense of control, and this is for cross watchers. If this is your partner, let go of control issues. Go with the flow. Trust that they are going to step up to the plate and do what they need to do. November will challenge them to do this. This person is your soulmate, and you're calling to them to step into their power to do what they need to do. Okay? So you are on the right path. But go with the flow connected to this. It's going to be a process in November. Don't take it personally when there are those blocks and hurdles. They're there as a trigger point to help you get to the next level. They're a gift. We never feel it's a gift at the time. Let's see what singles have going on. Okay, something connected to your past, and this does feel past related in a sense of communication with a person you haven't been seeing eye to eye with. Now, this could be a person that you recently or further back had broken up with. For some of you, it does feel more recent, but 3 to 4 months. There is a way in which you want to move forward, but there is a block connected to this, and the block is directly connected to another person. You do feel in a sense that you still have this connection to them, but you're very angry. You're angry connected to why things ended up being the way they were. You haven't verbalized this, although maybe in some shape or form you have. But the full truth, you haven't delved that deep in where you've experienced it. And this month is going to bring trigger points connected to that. This can be that you and a previous person are dealing with accommodation-related issues. I can see somebody at a distance as well. You've placed them there, or you've removed yourself from a location. This could be a romantic partner or a separate situation altogether. This is the romance side of things, though. I do feel conversations going on, and I feel as though they come in and there's arguments and you're wondering how to get past this block, how you can get the communication going so you can get to the bottom of the situation. If this is someone who you're directly dealing with but you are single, this is frustrating your energy and your flow for romance. It might be people's opinions of what you should be doing in your life and who you should be seeing, and it's directly frustrating you, and you're needing to own your power and speak your truth connected to, please back off and leave me be, I'm processing, and this is my road, not yours. Thank you for your love and support, but this is my road. But because you have so much on your plate, this is going to frustrate you. If this is directly connected to a person from the past, you are still at a crossroad with this person. You do have a sense of love connected to them. You're very angry and feel quite betrayed, connected to a way in which they treated you in the past. And I am feeling it could be an ex. So in a way, you're not being able to move forward. I do feel by New Year, there is going to be clarity connected to this. It might be that you vibrationally cannot let this situation go till then. I feel, again, time directly connected to it. You're not speaking to this person at the moment due to the fact you're processing. You have this card in reverse. Because this is about speaking your truth. You're not actually doing that because you're unable to, due to a fact that you have removed yourself from a scenario so you can get the clarity and the perspective you're physically needing. It might be that your partner or ex is pointing a way in which the world can be a beautiful place with you two together. Things are going to turn out better than they did look before. This block and what's happening, if this is for you personally, directly connected to a past tense person, I feel them to be very patient and waiting. Now, it might have been that they've done something incorrect and that's where the vibration has changed. But I do feel they've stepped into that and they've owned it. But there is more communication you need to do towards this person so they can have the clarity. And they're actually not expecting the clarity. The clarity that's going to be received is more for your benefit than them. But regardless, their vibration is still there in a sense that they want to be yours. Okay. There's going to be a sense of a quiet time and a quiet energy between the two of you while you're processing this factor. This can also be directly connected to people around you who are telling you what they think you should do, like you don't hold that energy and that power. And again, the verbalization is a trigger point this month. If in the past you have been very passive when it comes to you communicating your truth, you might need to turn your energy to a point where you're telling people, mind your business. I have this under control. I appreciate your concern, but I'm fine. Both of you by the end of the month or during this process in the month are going to have the power connected to a way you're going to deal with these energies of people's opinions or a direct relationship from the past. If this is a relationship you're working on currently and you're undecided whether you're going to jump in or jump out, and it's a bit of a rocky, bumpy start, their energy is they're very calm. Your energy is you're very unsure. So this could be a trigger from the past, or it could be a direct person from the past you're dealing with, however it relates. They're all for love at the moment, and in a way that's frustrating you because you like the balance. And it might be that they're too focused on you when you're needing to focus on yourself. They're not focusing on their lives, and you're thinking, well, why are you coming and telling me what to do when you can't even directly focus on your life? Okay, you are worrying unnecessarily. An aspect of this is directly connected to you needing to do some process work that you can actually attain the clarity you need without external influence. So again, it does feel as though you're going to need to communicate this to people or to the person you're directly seeing involved with from the past, if that's relevant, and deal with the energy directly. Okay, in the past, this person didn't have as much passion or doesn't have enough passion connected to their life personally. They weren't as optimistic and confident, and now that energy's changed in them because it does feel like a very grounded energy. It might be that physically they do have money and their career's doing very well, so the only thing really that they have a vibration to have about them is to physically focus on what they next want in life, which is love. So maybe they're more ready than you are, and maybe that's where the block's coming from, in a sense that you don't feel maybe vibrationally good enough for them, but that's really not the energy I'm picking up. It's more a block directly connected to a communication or a choice that you're physically needing to make. You're not being as upbeat and playful because you're processing. And it's due to a deception that this block has come about. But it doesn't mean to say that this person's energy has remained the same. So the key to the situation is to actually deal with the block, deal with the hurt or the frustration of people, so you can have that forward motion. But again, I do find your energy to be very protective in the month of November, and just focusing on your world rather than external situations. That's not to say that love isn't there, and the energy very much could change. Please look at your rising signs to get, you know, a full picture, especially if you're needing to look at your particular romance chart. Look at your romance area. Otherwise, you're quite welcome to book a reading, and I will talk to you both soon. Bye.